when the doctor at the urgent care clinic looked up from the pill analysis report and said, "Ma'am, these aren't vitamins. They're benzodiazepines, high-dose sedatives." My entire world tilted sideways. I gripped the edge of the examination table, staring at those little white pills I'd been taking every single morning for 8 months. 8 months of feeling foggy, dizzy, confused. 8 months of my mother-in-law smiling sweetly while handing me my daily wellness supplement. 8 months of being drugged in my own home. My dear listeners, before we step into this story, let me ask you something simple. If real-life stories and the fight for truth matter to you, please subscribe, like the video, and tell me in the comments, from which city are you listening? I read every comment, and it's incredible to see this little family growing across cities and countries. All right, settle in. Your story begins now. Let me take you back to the beginning. When everything seemed normal, or at least when I thought it was normal. My name is Kendra, 29 years old, light brown skin with shoulder-length natural hair I usually wore straightened or in a sleek ponytail. I'm a graphic designer working remotely for a marketing firm based in New York, making $61,000 a year. I lived in Houston, Texas, in a 2-bedroom apartment in the Montrose area with my husband Darius, $1,650 rent per month. We'd been married for 3 years, together for 5. Life was good, busy with work, happy in our marriage, making plans for the future. Darius worked as a financial analyst at an energy company downtown, making about $78,000 annually. He's tall, dark-skinned, had this beautiful smile that made my heart flutter even after 5 years together. We met through a dating app, had our first date at Brennan's of Houston, $142.76 for dinner, and talked for 4 hours straight. Married at a small ceremony at a venue in Rice Village, $12,300 total for everything. His mother, Patricia, lived in Pearland, about 30 minutes south of us. She was 57, medium brown skin, always dressed impeccably, worked as a legal secretary making around $48,000. Widowed for 6 years after Darius's father died from a heart attack. She and I had always gotten along fine. She was a bit traditional, a bit overbearing sometimes, but nothing I couldn't handle. Everything changed in September of last year when Patricia broke her ankle. She was walking her dog, a small terrier named Buttons, when she tripped on a crack in the sidewalk. Complete fracture, needed surgery, pins and screws, 8-week recovery minimum. She called Darius from the emergency room at Memorial Hermann Southeast Hospital. "Baby, I'm okay, but I can't walk," she said when he put her on speaker. I was sitting next to him on our gray couch, both of us having dinner, chicken stir-fry I'd made, $28.43 in groceries from H-E-B. They're saying, I'll need someone to help me at home for at least 6 weeks. "Mom, we'll figure it out," Darius said. "Maybe we can hire a home health aide." "Those cost $2,000 a month, Darius. I can't afford that." I saw where this was going before he said it. I knew what he was going to ask. "What if you stayed with us?" he said. "Just until you're back on your feet. We have the 2nd bedroom, and Kendra works from home so she can help you during the day." My stomach dropped. I worked from home, yes, but that meant I had deadlines, video calls, projects. I couldn't be a full-time caretaker. But I looked at Darius's face, saw the worry there, and I couldn't say no. "Of course," I said. "Patricia, you're welcome to stay with us." "Are you sure, sweetheart? I don't want to be a burden." "You're not a burden. You're family." She moved in 3 days later on September 18th. The weather was still hot in Houston, 89 degrees, humid, that thick air that makes your skin feel damp the second you step outside. Darius and I drove to her house in Pearland, helped her pack clothes, toiletries, medications, everything she'd need. She had crutches and a knee scooter from the hospital, moved slowly and carefully. We set up the 2nd bedroom for her, the one we'd been using as my home office. I moved my desk and computer into our bedroom, squeezed everything into a corner. Put fresh sheets on the bed, $47.99 from Target, hung up her clothes, made sure she had everything she needed. "Thank you both so much," she said, settling into the bed at 7:34 p.m. that first night. "I promise I won't be any trouble." The first week was fine. I helped her to the bathroom, brought her meals, made sure she was comfortable. She watched TV during the day, read magazines, stayed out of my way while I worked. In the evenings, the three of us would have dinner together, watch shows, talk about our days. But in the second week, she started getting more involved in my daily routine. Started asking questions about my work, about what I ate, about my health. "Kendra, baby, you look tired," she said one morning, a Tuesday, September 26th. I'd come out of the bedroom at 8:15 a.m. in my pajamas, gray tank top and shorts to make coffee. She was already awake, sitting at our kitchen table with a cup of tea, her ankle propped up on a chair. "I'm okay, just didn't sleep great last night." "You know what you need. Vitamins. Good, high-quality vitamins. When I was your age, I took them every day and I never got sick, never felt run down. I take a multivitamin sometimes. Those drugstore ones aren't any good. I'm talking about real vitamins, the kind that actually work. Let me order some for you." "Patricia, you don't have to do that." "I want to. Consider it a thank you for letting me stay here." I didn't think much of it. She was trying to be helpful, trying to contribute. 2 days later, a package arrived from Amazon. Inside was a bottle of white pills, no label, just a plain white bottle. "These are the vitamins," Patricia said, holding up the bottle. "One every morning with breakfast. Trust me, you'll feel so much better." "What kind are they?" "It's a special blend. Vitamin D, B-complex, some herbs for energy and focus. My friend who's into holistic medicine makes them." That should have been my first red flag. No label, no ingredient list made by a friend, but I trusted her. She was my mother-in-law, Darius's mom. Why would she give me something harmful? I took the first pill on September 29th, a Friday morning. Swallowed it with orange juice, $4.89 for the carton from H-E-B, while Patricia watched me with a smile. "Good girl. You take one every morning, okay? It's important to be consistent." Within an hour, I started feeling strange, dizzy, like the room was tilting slightly. My thoughts felt fuzzy, like there was cotton in my brain. I sat at my desk trying to work on a logo design for a client, but I couldn't focus. The colors on my screen seemed too bright. My hands felt heavy on the mouse. "You okay, baby?" Patricia called from the living room where she was watching the view. "Yeah, just feeling a little off." That's normal when you start new vitamins. Your body's adjusting. It'll pass. It didn't pass. For the next 3 hours, I felt like I was moving through fog. At noon, I had a video call with my boss, Rachel, and 3 other team members to discuss a campaign we were launching. I could barely follow the conversation. "Kendra, what do you think about the color scheme?" Rachel asked. I stared at the screen, trying to form words. It looks good, I think. Yeah, it's good." Rachel frowned. "Are you feeling all right? You seem out of it." "Just tired, didn't sleep well." After the call, I went to the kitchen and drank 2 glasses of water, thinking maybe I was dehydrated. Patricia was making lunch, grilled cheese sandwiches, the smell of butter filling the apartment. "You look better," she said, though I definitely didn't feel better. "Still pretty foggy." "It'll wear off soon. Your body just needs to adjust to the vitamins. Give it a few days." But it didn't get better. Every single morning, Patricia would bring me a pill with a glass of water. "Don't forget your vitamin, Kendra." And every single morning, within an hour of taking it, I'd feel that same foggy, dizzy, disconnected feeling. It would last for 3 to 4 hours, then gradually fade by early afternoon. I started making mistakes at work. Missed deadlines, submitted designs with errors, forgot about meetings. Rachel called me on October 12th, concerned. "Kendra, I need to talk to you about your performance lately," she said. We were on a video call, just the 2 of us. She wore a blue blazer, her blonde hair in a neat bun, background showing her office in Manhattan. "I know, I'm sorry, Rachel. I've been dealing with some health stuff." "What kind of health stuff? Is everything okay?" "Just feeling really tired and foggy lately. I'm trying to figure out what's causing it." "Have you seen a doctor?" "Not yet, but I will." "Please do. And Kendra, I need you to know that if this continues, we'll need to discuss whether this position is still a good fit. I can't have someone on the team who isn't reliable." Fear shot through me. I couldn't lose this job. It was good pay, good benefits, flexibility to work from home. "I understand. I'll get it figured out." That night, I talked to Darius about it. We were in bed at 11:47 p.m., both in our pajamas, the room dark except for the light from his phone as he scrolled through Twitter. "I think I need to see a doctor," I said. "What's wrong?" "I've been feeling so weird lately. Dizzy, confused, can't focus. It's affecting my work." He put his phone down, turned to me. "How long has this been going on?" "Couple of weeks, since your mom moved in, actually." "You think it's stress, from taking care of her?" "Maybe, but it feels physical, not just stress, like something's wrong with my body." "Let's get you to a doctor tomorrow. I'll take time off work, go with you." But the next morning, when I woke up at 7:30 a.m., Patricia was already in the kitchen with my vitamin ready. "Good morning, sweetheart, don't forget this." She handed me the pill and a glass of water. I looked at that little white pill, thought about how I'd been feeling. And for the first time, a small voice in my head said, "What if it's the vitamin?" But that was crazy. Patricia wouldn't give me something that would hurt me. She was Darius's mother. She cared about me. I swallowed the pill. Within an hour, the fog descended again. I called my doctor's office, got an appointment for October 18th, 5 days away. In the meantime, I tried to push through, tried to work despite feeling like my brain was wrapped in cotton. The doctor's visit was frustrating. Dr. Angela Morris, a black woman in her 40s with kind eyes and a gentle manner, did a physical exam, took blood for testing, asked about my symptoms. "The blood work will take a few days," she said. "But from what you're describing, dizziness, confusion, difficulty concentrating, it could be a lot of things. Could be thyroid, could be vitamin deficiency, ironically, could be hormonal. Let's wait for the results." The blood work came back normal. Everything, thyroid, blood count, vitamin levels, liver function, kidney function, all completely normal. "I don't see anything concerning in these results," Dr. Morris said when she called me on October 23rd. "Sometimes these symptoms can be stress-related or even related to sleep quality. Are you getting enough sleep?" "I think so. 7, 8 hours most nights." "And you mentioned your mother-in-law is staying with you temporarily. That's a big life change. Sometimes our bodies react to stress in unexpected ways." I wanted to believe that, wanted to think it was just stress, that it would pass once Patricia moved back to her own house, but something still felt wrong. By early November, Patricia's ankle was healing well. She was walking without crutches, just using a cane occasionally, but she showed no signs of wanting to leave. "The doctor said I should stay off it as much as possible for another month," she said when I gently brought up her recovery. "Just to be safe." "You don't mind me staying a little longer, do you?" "Of course not," I lied. The vitamins continued. Every single morning, Patricia made sure I took one. If I slept in late, she'd knock on the bedroom door. "Kendra, don't forget your vitamin." If I tried to take it later in the day, she'd insist it had to be with breakfast. They work best on an empty stomach first thing in the morning. I started noticing other things too. Patricia going through my purse when she thought I wasn't looking. Patricia listening outside the bedroom door when Darius and I were talking. Patricia asking Darius questions about my work, my friends, my schedule. "Your mom's being kind of weird," I told Darius one night in mid-November. We were whispering in our bedroom, door closed, Patricia in the living room watching Scandal. "Weird how?" "She's always watching me, asking questions about everything I do. I caught her going through my purse yesterday." "Maybe she was looking for gum or something." "Darius, she's being invasive." "She's just bored, baby. She's been stuck in this apartment for 2 months. Give her a break." But I couldn't shake the feeling that something was very wrong, and the fog kept getting worse. By late November, I was barely functional in the mornings. I'd sit at my computer, staring at the screen, unable to process what I was looking at. Had to set alarms to remind me of meetings because I'd forget them 5 minutes after checking my calendar. On November 28th, the day before Thanksgiving, I finally did something I'd been thinking about for weeks. I pretended to take the vitamin. Patricia handed it to me at 8:02 a.m. like always, with a glass of water. "Here you go, sweetheart." I put it in my mouth, took a sip of water, tilted my head back like I was swallowing. But I didn't swallow. I kept the pill tucked under my tongue. "Good girl," Patricia said, watching me carefully. I nodded, kept the pill hidden in my mouth, went to the bathroom. Spit it out into my hand, wrapped it in toilet paper, hid it in my pocket. My heart was racing. Why was I sneaking around like this? but I had to know. I had to test this pill. That morning, for the first time in 2 months, the fog didn't come. My head stayed clear. I worked on a project for 3 hours straight, focused, productive, no confusion. I realized with growing horror, it was the vitamins. The vitamins were making me sick. But why? Why would Patricia give me something that would hurt me? I saved that pill in a small plastic bag, hid it in my dresser drawer. The next morning, Thanksgiving, Patricia tried to give me another vitamin. "Oh, I already took it earlier," I lied. "Forgot to mention it." She looked surprised, almost upset. "You sure? I didn't see you take it." "Yeah, I took it right when I woke up. Grabbed it from the bottle in the bathroom." "Well, okay, just make sure you take one every day, it's important." That day again, no fog. Clear-headed, present, functional. Over the next week, I continued pretending to take the vitamins while secretly disposing of them. And I felt like myself again for the first time in months. I talked to my best friend Shanice about it on December 2nd. We met for coffee at Blacksmith, $11.25 for both drinks, sat outside on the patio even though it was chilly, 54 degrees, unusual for Houston. She wore a burgundy sweater and jeans, her locks pulled back in a high ponytail. "Girl, you need to get those pills tested," she said after I told her everything. "How do I even do that?" "Take them to an urgent care or a lab. Tell them you're concerned about what's in them. They can analyze them." What if I'm wrong? What if they really are just vitamins and I'm being paranoid? Then you'll know for sure and you can stop worrying. "But Kendra, your symptoms only happen when you take these pills. That's not a coincidence." She was right. I needed to know for certain. On December 5th, I took 3 of the pills I'd saved to a CareNow urgent care clinic in Midtown. Paid the $150 visit fee with my HSA card. The doctor on duty was Dr. Michael Chen, an Asian man in his 30s with glasses and a calm demeanor. "I need to have these pills tested," I said, showing him the plastic bag. "My mother-in-law gave them to me, said they're vitamins, but they make me feel really sick." Dizzy, confused, foggy. I want to know what's actually in them. He examined the pills. "These have no markings, no identification numbers. That's unusual for legitimate vitamins or supplements. I can send them to our lab for analysis, but it'll take about 5 days, and there's an additional fee." "How much?" $275 for a basic compound analysis. "Do it, please." Those 5 days were agony. I continued pretending to take the vitamins, continued feeling clear-headed without them, continued wondering what Patricia had been giving me and why. On December 10th, Dr. Chen called me at 2:47 p.m. I was sitting at my desk, working on a website mock-up when my phone rang. "Ms. Hayes, I have the results from your pill analysis." "What did they find?" "These aren't vitamins. They're benzodiazepines, specifically a drug called clonazepam. Each pill contains 2 milligrams, which is a fairly high dose." My mouth went dry. What is that?" "It's a sedative, typically prescribed for anxiety or seizures. It causes drowsiness, confusion, difficulty concentrating, impaired coordination. Basically, all the symptoms you described experiencing." "But why would someone give me sedatives disguised as vitamins?" "I don't know, Ms. Hayes, but I'm very concerned. Has anyone else been giving you pills or medications without your knowledge?" "No, just my mother-in-law. She's the only one." "I strongly recommend you stop taking these immediately if you haven't already, and I think you should report this to the police. Giving someone prescription medication without their knowledge is illegal and extremely dangerous." After hanging up, I sat at my desk for 10 full minutes, hands shaking, trying to process what I'd just learned. Patricia had been drugging me for 2 months, every single day, with sedatives that impaired my ability to work, to think, to function. But why? Why would she do this? I needed to confront her, but I needed Darius with me. I texted him, "Come home now, emergency, not hurt but need you here." He called immediately. "What's wrong? Are you okay?" "I'm fine, but I need you to come home. It's about your mom." "Is she okay? Did she fall?" "She's fine. Just please come home." "I'll explain when you get here." He arrived at 3:52 p.m., practically running through the door. Patricia was in her room, door closed, taking a nap. I pulled Darius into our bedroom, showed him the lab report from the urgent care clinic. "What is this?" he asked, reading through it. "Those vitamins your mother has been giving me, they're sedatives, prescription sedatives. She's been drugging me for 2 months." His face went white. "That can't be right. There has to be a mistake." "There's no mistake, Darius. Look at the lab report. Clonazepam, 2 milligrams per pill. I've been taking one every morning, and that's why I've been so foggy and confused and unable to work. Your mother has been deliberately drugging me." "But why? Why would she do that?" "I don't know, but we need to confront her. Right now." We walked to Patricia's room. I knocked on the door. "Patricia, can you come out here? We need to talk." She opened the door, looking sleepy, wearing a purple tracksuit. "What's wrong?" "Come sit down," Darius said, his voice tight. We all sat in the living room, me and Darius on the couch, Patricia in the armchair. I held up the lab report. "These vitamins you've been giving me," I said. "I had them tested. They're not vitamins, they're sedatives. Prescription sedatives called clonazepam." Patricia's face didn't change. She just looked at me calmly. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Mom, we have a lab report," Darius said. "These pills you gave Kendra, they're drugs. They've been making her sick." "Well, I didn't know that. My friend gave them to me, said they were vitamins. If there's something else, that's not my fault." "You insisted she take one every single morning," I said. "You watched me take them. You got upset if I forgot. You knew exactly what they were." "I was trying to help you. You always looked so tired, so stressed. I thought vitamins would help." "Then why didn't they have a label? Why didn't you tell me who made them or what was in them?" She shifted in her chair, face still calm. "My friend makes them herself. She doesn't put labels on them." "Your friend is giving people prescription sedatives disguised as vitamins," Darius said, voice rising. "Mom, that's illegal. That's dangerous." "I didn't know. How was I supposed to know?" I leaned forward. "Patricia, why have you been drugging me? What were you trying to do?" "I wasn't trying to do anything. If those pills had something bad in them, I'm sorry, but I didn't know." But I could see it in her eyes. She was lying. She knew exactly what she'd been doing. "Mom, you need to leave," Darius said quietly. She looked at him, shock finally registering on her face. "What?" "You need to leave our apartment. Today, right now." "Darius, I'm your mother. You're going to choose her over me." "You've been poisoning my wife. For months. Yes, I'm choosing her." "Pack your things." Patricia stood up, face hard now, all pretense of innocence gone. "Fine, fine. But you're going to regret this, Darius. When you realize what kind of woman you married, you're going to regret turning your back on your own mother." "What is that supposed to mean?" I demanded. "You think I don't know what you are? You trapped my son, got pregnant on purpose to make him marry you." "I've never been pregnant." "Not yet, but that's your plan, isn't it? Get pregnant, secure your meal ticket. I was trying to protect my son from you." The pieces started falling into place. "You were drugging me to make me seem unstable, to make Darius think something was wrong with me. I was helping him see who you really are, a gold digger who can't even keep a job." "Get out," I said. "Pack your things and get out of my house." "Gladly." She stormed to her room. Darius and I stood in the living room, both shaking. He pulled me into a hug. "I'm so sorry," he whispered. "I'm so sorry I didn't believe you sooner. I'm so sorry I let this happen." "You didn't know. Neither of us knew." 27 minutes later, Patricia came out with 2 suitcases. She'd called an Uber, said her friend would let her stay for a few days until she could go back to her own house. She didn't look at us as she left, didn't say goodbye, just walked out and slammed the door. After she left, I called the police. 2 officers arrived at 5:34 p.m., Officer Lisa Rodriguez and Officer James Brown, both in their early 30s. We sat with them at our dining table, showed them the lab report, explained everything that had happened. "This is definitely illegal," Officer Rodriguez said. "In Texas, it's a felony to administer a controlled substance without a prescription. We'll need you to give a formal statement, and we'll need the remaining pills as evidence." "I have about 20 pills left that I saved instead of taking," I said, getting them from my dresser. "And do you have the original bottle she gave you?" Yes. Darius got it from Patricia's room, brought it to the officers. We'll need to investigate where she got these pills, Officer Brown said. If she has a prescription for clonazepam, that's one thing. If she doesn't, or if she obtained them illegally, that's additional charges. What kind of charges? Darius asked. Assault with a controlled substance, possibly fraud if she misrepresented what the pills were. Depending on the circumstances, she could be looking at 2 to 10 years in prison. My head was spinning. Patricia in prison, my mother-in-law, Darius's mother, behind bars. What do we need to do? I asked. Come down to the station tomorrow, give formal statements. We'll open an investigation, interview Patricia, check pharmacy records. This will take time, but we'll pursue it. After they left, Darius and I sat on the couch in stunned silence. It was 7:15 p.m., dark outside, the apartment feeling strange and empty without Patricia's presence. I can't believe my own mother did this, he said. She genuinely believes I'm using you. She thinks I'm some kind of gold digger. That's insane. You make your own money, you've always been independent. Where would she even get that idea? I don't know. But she was willing to drug me, to ruin my career, to destroy my health just to protect you from me. I'm so sorry, Kendra. I brought her into our home. I insisted you help her. I didn't believe you when you said something was wrong. Baby, you couldn't have known. This is not your fault. But I could see the guilt eating at him. The next morning, December 11th, we went to the police station at 9:00 a.m. and gave our statements. Detective Sarah Williams, a white woman in her late 40s with short gray hair, took our case. She was professional, thorough, asked hundreds of questions. Did Patricia have a prescription for clonazepam? She asked. Not that we know of, Darius said. We've never known her to have anxiety or seizures. We'll check pharmacy records. If she doesn't have a legitimate prescription, we'll need to find out where she got them. Over the next 2 weeks, the investigation progressed. Detective Williams called us on December 18th with an update. We checked Patricia Robinson's medical records and pharmacy history. She has never been prescribed clonazepam. However, we found something interesting. Her deceased husband, your father, she said to Darius, was prescribed clonazepam for anxiety before he died 6 years ago. Patricia kept his pills. She was giving me her dead husband's medication. I felt sick. It appears so. The pills we tested matched the prescription he had. She'd been saving them for 6 years. That's even more insane, Darius said. We've arrested her and charged her with assault with a controlled substance. She made bail yesterday, $15,000. She's been ordered to stay away from both of you, no contact, can't come within 500 feet of your home or workplaces. What happens now? I asked. The case will go before a grand jury. If they indict, it'll go to trial. Given the evidence, the lab report, your statements, pharmacy records, I'd say there's a strong case. But before the case could proceed, Patricia's lawyer reached out to our lawyer. Yes, we had to hire a lawyer, Matthew Vasquez, cost us $5,000 retainer with a plea offer. She's willing to plead guilty to a lesser charge of reckless endangerment, Matthew told us over the phone on January 8th. In exchange, she'd get probation, mandatory psychiatric treatment, and a permanent restraining order keeping her away from you both. She doesn't go to jail, I asked. Not with this deal. It would be 2 years probation, weekly therapy, and if she violates the restraining order or reoffends, she'd face the original charges. Darius and I talked about it for days. Part of me wanted her to go to prison to face real consequences, but part of me just wanted it to be over, wanted her out of our lives forever. What do you think? I asked Darius on January 11th. We were in bed, both unable to sleep, talking in the dark. I don't know, she's my mom, but what she did, it's unforgivable. She could have killed me. If I'd been driving while that drugged, if I'd made a mistake at work that affected someone else, if I'd taken the wrong medication on top of what she was giving me. This could have ended so much worse. You're right, and she needs help. Clearly she's not in her right mind. But I also want her to face consequences. The therapy is something, at least, and the restraining order means we never have to see her again. Would you be okay with the plea deal? I thought about it, about months of trial dates, testimony, reliving the trauma. about the stress of a public case, about just wanting to move forward. Yes, I think so. We accepted the plea deal. On January 22nd, Patricia pled guilty in court. We didn't attend, didn't want to see her. Matthew told us she cried when the judge sentenced her to 2 years probation and mandated psychiatric treatment. She said she was only trying to protect her son, Matthew relayed. The judge told her that drugging someone isn't protection, it's assault. The restraining order was issued that day. Patricia couldn't contact us, couldn't come near us, had to stay at least 500 feet away at all times. Violation would result in immediate arrest and prosecution on the original charges. In the months that followed, I focused on healing. Saw a therapist, Dr. Marcus Reed, a black man in his 50s who specialized in trauma. His office was in Rice Village, $140 per session with my insurance. What your mother-in-law did was a profound violation, he said in our first session on February 3rd. She took away your ability to consent, to control what you put in your body. That's going to affect your ability to trust, especially when it comes to food and medication. He was right. For weeks, I checked every pill I took, every drink I consumed. Wouldn't eat food I hadn't prepared myself or watched being prepared. Darius had to show me medication bottles before I'd take even basic ibuprofen. That's hypervigilance, Dr. Reed explained. Your brain is trying to protect you from being drugged again. It's a normal trauma response. We worked on it. Slowly, over months, I learned to trust again. Started eating at restaurants again in March, started taking vitamins again, real vitamins from reputable brands, in April. My work improved dramatically once the sedatives were out of my system. By February, I was back to my normal productivity. Rachel, my boss, noticed immediately. Kendra, whatever you did to address your health issues, it's working, she said on a video call in late February. You're back to being your star performer self. Thank you, I had some family medical stuff that's resolved now. I didn't tell her the full story. It felt too private, too shameful even though I'd done nothing wrong. In March, 3 months after Patricia was banned from our lives, Darius got a letter from her. It came to his work address. She wasn't supposed to contact him at all, but technically having a letter delivered to his workplace wasn't direct contact according to her lawyer. He brought it home. We sat on the couch at 7:45 p.m. and he read it out loud. Dear Darius, I know I'm not supposed to contact you, but I need you to know how sorry I am. I was wrong to do what I did. I was scared of losing you, scared that Kendra would take you away from me like your father was taken. I know that doesn't excuse it, but I hope someday you can forgive me. I'm in therapy, working on my issues. I love you, Mom. Darius put the letter down, looked at me. What do you think? I think she's sorry she got caught. If she was really sorry, she would have stopped drugging me when she saw how sick I was getting. She would have told the truth when we confronted her instead of lying. You're right, part of me wants to believe she can change. Maybe she can. But that doesn't mean she gets access to us while she's figuring it out. He nodded, took the letter, and put it in a drawer. Never responded to it. By summer, 6 months after everything came to light, we were in a good place. I got promoted at work to senior designer, raising my salary to $69,000. Darius got promoted too, now making $85,000. We took a vacation to Cancun in July, $2,847 for a week at an all-inclusive resort. Swam, ate good food, reconnected without the shadow of Patricia hanging over us. We talked about the future in a way we hadn't been able to before, about maybe buying a house, about maybe having kids someday. I want to make sure we're really healed first, I said one night, sitting on the beach at sunset. I don't want to bring a child into a situation where we're still processing trauma. Agreed, but I do want kids with you, eventually. Me too. In October, almost a year after everything started, I ran into someone at the grocery store who knew Patricia. A woman named Gloria, one of Patricia's friends from church. Kendra, hi, how are you? She said, approaching me in the produce section at H-E-B. I'm good, Gloria. How are you? Good, good. I've been meaning to reach out. I heard about what happened with Patricia. I'm so sorry. Thank you. She's doing better, you know. The therapy is helping. She's been really working on herself. That's good to hear. Do you think, would you and Darius ever consider reconciling with her? Family is so important. I took a breath, chose my words carefully. Gloria, I'm glad Patricia is getting help. I genuinely hope she gets better, but what she did crossed a line that can't be uncrossed. She drugged me for months. She lied about it. She tried to destroy my career and my marriage. That's not something I can forgive or forget. But she's his mother. And I'm his wife. She made a choice and now we've made ours. Please respect that. I walked away, hands shaking a little but feeling strong, proud of myself for setting that boundary. By December, a full year after I'd had those pills tested, Darius and I hosted Thanksgiving at our apartment. Just us and my family. My parents, my sister, my brother. No Patricia. No drama. Just good food and laughter and people who loved us without conditions. This is nice, Darius said while we were cleaning up, my family having left around 9 p.m. Having holidays that actually feel peaceful. It really is. Do you think about her, about what she's doing now? Sometimes, but mostly, I just feel grateful it's over. Grateful I figured it out before something worse happened. In January of this year, we got word through Darius's aunt that Patricia had completed her probation successfully, had continued therapy voluntarily, and had moved to Dallas to start fresh. The restraining order was still in effect, but she wasn't in Houston anymore. How do you feel about that? I asked Darius when he told me. Relieved, honestly. Glad she's getting help, glad she's far away. Do you think you'll ever want to have a relationship with her again? He thought about it for a long time. I don't know, maybe someday if she really does change, but right now I'm okay with things as they are. I have you, I have our life together, that's enough. Today, 18 months after I discovered I was being drugged, I'm in a completely different place. I'm thriving at work, just signed a huge client, got another raise to $74,000. Darius and I are house hunting, looking at places in the Heights with good schools because we're starting to seriously talk about having kids in the next year or two. I still see Dr. Reed monthly, still work on processing what happened, still check labels on medications more carefully than most people. Still feel a flutter of anxiety when someone offers me food or drink I didn't prepare. But those reactions are getting smaller, less frequent, and I've helped other people. A friend from college reached out in September saying her boyfriend's mother was acting strange, being overly controlling, insisting on cooking all her meals. I told her my story, warned her to trust her instincts, to not ignore red flags. She did some investigating and found out the mother was trying to get her to gain weight so her son would break up with her. Twisted, but she caught it early. That's the thing about surviving something like this. Your pain becomes purposeful. It helps you recognize danger in other people's situations, gives you the courage to speak up, to warn others, to say, that's not normal, that's not okay. Here's what I want you to understand. Trust your body. If something someone is giving you, food, medication, supplements, anything, makes you feel bad, stop taking it. Investigate. Don't dismiss your symptoms as stress or anxiety or coincidence. Your body knows when something is wrong, and trust your instincts about people. If someone is being invasive, controlling, overly insistent about something that should be your choice, that's a red flag. Doesn't matter if they're family, doesn't matter if they claim they're helping. Boundaries matter. Consent matters. Document everything. I wish I'd started documenting my symptoms earlier, wish I'd kept a detailed log of when I took the pills and how I felt afterward. Evidence matters when you need to prove something happened. Get professional help, both medical and psychological. Don't try to handle trauma alone. And please, please report it when someone violates you like this. I almost didn't press charges because I felt bad. She was Darius's mom. She was family. I didn't want to ruin her life. But she made a choice to drug me every single day for months. She knew what she was doing. She deserved to face consequences. Patricia's life isn't ruined. She's in Dallas in therapy, hopefully becoming a better person. But she's also far away from us, can't hurt us again, and had to acknowledge what she did. That matters. My life is good now, really good. I have a husband who believes me, supports me, chose me over toxic family loyalty. I have a career I love. I have my health back. I have peace. And that's what healing looks like, not forgetting what happened, but building something beautiful anyway.